good? Welcome in. News from around the Interzones Sunday evening edition here for you. We got a couple stories. We're going to start off with the old Trumpsicles, right? So as the indictments pile up, it seems the poll numbers follow suit. This most recent one coming out of South Carolina, where Trump absolutely dominating, 47% of the vote total, with DeSantis apparently dropping to fourth in that state. What a fucking waste of a political career. You were the one, man. The chosen. 2028 was yours, bro. Right? Jesus. But, it seems that, leftists and, people just outside of the MAGA fucking circle are starting to realize it's a real threat. Trump's going to take back the White House. And now, the shady dealings and groveling start to come out, man. So first off, we got old Boris Johnson, ex-prime minister of the UK over there, removed for corruption apparently, and turned warmongering lobbyist, coming out and begging Trump, please, keep the money train flowing. We can't stop the funding of the Ukraines, right? And this is the same lizard that allegedly thwarted a brokered peace deal between the Ukrainians and Russia a year ago. Basically saying that we can't turn our back on an ally and the West needs to stick to it, right? The Ukraine is not an official ally, the most corrupt state in Europe, and surely isn't part of the UN that would actually trigger the funding of their defense, okay? We've spent hundreds of billions of dollars. We've had enough. But anyway, and then you had Pence come out over the weekend to say that Trump can't govern as a conservative in his next term because he'd implement a quick end to the Russia-Ukraine's conflict, going on basically to say that if you're not a warmonger and you don't want to sign billion-dollar checks, well, you can't be a conservative, right? I think the dude meant Rhino along with his class, and that is the political class of the 90s, right? Get the fuck out of here. Next, you got old Joe Biddens and his admin there proposing a change to federal statutes that would make firing his appointees harder. In other words, trying to have holdovers to stay in, resist, the incoming president, because Biddens knows the end is nigh. And, like previous, when we had, military heads that hid actual numbers and, advanced procedures from Trump because they didn't agree with his political leanings, right? And also the fact that people that get paid to commit acts of war want to, commit acts of war. I know that's fucking crazy, right? But, this is some clown world shit, of course. An ex-Trump admin, James Schreck there, was interviewed and asked a question about the situation, said that Biden can go ahead and make firing corrupt and underperforming bureaucrats harder for himself, but that it's nothing more than a speed bump for an incoming Trump, as an incoming admin can just as easily rescind those restrictions. You know what I mean? But it's just one more show letting you know that they're in full-blown panic mode. But, speaking of elections, boom, in Arizona, Superior Court has ruled that the Secretary of State here has used illegal signature verification processes for the last two election cycles, and those, of course, being the 2020 election and the 2022 midterms, where she herself was running for the governor, now the governor, Scaby Hobbs, and, also in control of the election herself, where all sorts of alleged shenanigans went on throughout that time, where 50% of the tabulating machines not working on election day in the largest county in the state, ballots being printed on the wrong size paper templates, polls being closed early, and now this, of course, and I don't give two shits, and apparently, the YouTubes agree, because we can say it now without having our channel struck or banned. Trump won 2020, and Kari Lake is the governor of Arizona. All right, I give two shits with Kari Lake losing to Scaby Hobbs, who was the Secretary of State overseeing the election once again by less than 20,000 votes, and Abe Hamada losing the Secretary of State race by a mere 280 votes. All right? Obvious shenanigans, man. But on that same note,
yes, and ultimately I think that there are 3 points of consensus here that are very important in getting a solution to this issue. The first is that there is consensus here across geography and states on increased federal resources to cities and municipalities dealing with this issue. The second is to allow for work authorizations so that the folks in here can get to work and start supporting themselves as soon as possible. They are prevented from getting jobs, they are prevented from employment, and that is part of the strain on our public systems.
So in that nice little break there, you got to see AOC, obviously, and the gang try their hardest to speak over and ignore their own constituents, right? Because the overlords don't give two shits what the people that put them in their positions of power actually think or believe or want or need for their own, But, it's been revealed here recently that 41% of New York residents want the border wall finished. Right? That's pretty funny shit. As, the left is just continuously, losing its control over their inherited strongholds that they haven't the faintest idea how to keep power over. Obviously, as the populations of these large metro areas grow increasingly sick of the high tax schemes to pay for nonsensical programs that turn out to do nothing but launder and burn dollars. Real shit. And, they're not replacing you, but it would be good if they were. Diversity is their strength, and you should definitely be on the hook for putting illegal immigrants up in 4-star hotels, buying them mopeds, and providing them employment. Come on, right? That's definitely what you want and need for yourself, your family, and your country, as it appears you really don't have to be a Republican or like Trumpsicles to want to do the right thing, right? By, again, your country, yourself, and your fam. But speaking of trying to destroy the country, it seems the old bedriddens is not only expected to sign the 2024 World Health Organization Pandemic Treaty, but his puppet masters were a group of lizards that pushed this entity to draft this treaty to begin with last year. Basically wanting to give up sovereignty and give somebody the ability to declare this climate emergency that the left wants them to so bad without having to let his party feel the repercussions of doing so, right? This is much worse than doing it themselves. This is handing over each signing country's sovereignty over to this unelected group of UN bureaucrats that are also on top of this trying to push for sweeping censorship powers to fight misinformation, right? Well, of course, because having what they want, which is MSM, big tech companies, fact-checking organizations, and medical information apparatuses to come together to censor the world's population against wrongthink and opinions that go against the grain, right? The way to destroy misinformation is to bring it to the light, debate it, and smack it down with facts and receipts, not, censor people from giving opinions or, in most cases, sharing facts that go against what the powers that be want accomplished. It's real shit. It's always good 1984 times with the UN, WEF, and the WHO. These are entities that are enemies of the people. You guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Truly appreciate you coming by. Smell you later.